This morning, a 72-year-old man woke up, went about his usual routine, and within hours he was gone, unexpectedly taken by a simple mistake he didn't even know he'd made. It's something so ordinary, something so many people over 70 do every single day without a second thought. The truth is, as we age, our bodies become more fragile, more sensitive to habits that once felt harmless in our younger years. And sadly, those small, everyday choices can stack up in ways that quietly put our health and even our lives at serious risk. In this video, we're diving deep into 10 dangerous morning mistakes that could be silently jeopardizing your well-being without you even realizing it. These are mistakes that can mess with your heart, your balance, your energy, and even your brain. And the scariest part, most people over 70 make at least one of these every single morning. But here's the good news. Once you know what they are, they're easy to fix. Avoiding them could be the difference between thriving in your golden years or facing a sudden health crisis that could have been prevented. Stick with me until the end, because the 10th mistake is one you rarely hear about. It's sneaky, it's dangerous, and it's something so many seniors do without a clue. It's raising their risk of falls, fatigue, and even heart trouble. You won't want to miss it. Before we jump in, if you haven't subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell so you don't miss out on more life-changing insights like these. If you find this video helpful, please type 1 in the comments below. If it's not your cup of tea, type 0. Your feedback helps me make better content for you. Now let's get started and uncover these 10 morning pitfalls, because a little elderly wisdom paired with some timeless quotes might just save your day or even your life. Mistake 2, skipping that first glass of water in the morning. Now this might sound like a small thing, something you wouldn't even think twice about, but skipping water after waking up is one of the sneakiest dangers for people over 70, and it's way more common than you'd guess. Picture this. You've been asleep for hours, your body's been working hard, your heart's pumping, your lungs are breathing, and you're losing fluids through every breath and bit of sweat. By the time your eyes open, you're already in a state of mild dehydration. For older adults, that's not just a dry mouth. It's thicker blood, slower circulation, and a setup for trouble like high blood pressure or even a heart scare. As the wise saying goes, water is the first medicine, and there's real truth in that bit of elderly wisdom. Without that morning hydration, your body's running on empty, and you might not even feel it until it's too late. Ever wake up feeling sluggish, maybe a little stiff in the joints, or like your brain's stuck in fog? That's your body waving a flag saying it needs water. Pronto. Take someone like Margaret, 73. She'd roll out of bed and head straight for her tea, thinking that was enough. But over time, she started noticing headaches, dizzy spells, and a tiredness that just wouldn't quit. Her doctor pointed out the obvious. She wasn't giving her body the water it craved first thing. After a week of sipping a glass right after waking, she felt sharper, steadier, and more alive. The fix here is simple but powerful. Keep a glass of water by your bed and drink it before your feet even hit the floor. If you're not a plain water fan, a splash of lemon works wonders. Think about what the great philosopher Hippocrates said. Let food be thy medicine, and medicine be thy food. Well, water's the foundation of that. It jumpstarts your system, keeps your heart happy, and gets everything flowing right. Skip it, and you're asking for trouble. So if you've been bypassing that morning H2O, reconsider. It's a small habit with a big payoff. Comment 2 below if this one's hitting home for you, and let's keep going. Mistake 3, gulping down coffee before you've had a bite to eat. For so many of us, the day doesn't really start until that first cup of coffee's in hand. It's practically a ritual, right? But here's the catch. Drinking coffee on an empty stomach, especially after 70, can turn that comforting habit into a quiet health hazard. When you wake up, your stomach's empty, your blood sugar's low, and your body's just easing into the day. Pouring coffee in there first thing spikes your stress hormones, like cortisol, way higher than they need to be. And that can leave you jittery, unsettled, or even dealing with a sour stomach. There's an old bit of elderly wisdom that says, feed the fire before you stoke it, and it fits here perfectly. That acidity in coffee can irritate an empty gut, stirring up indigestion, heartburn, or even long-term reflux, stuff that creeps up on you as you age. Ever sipped your morning brew and felt a little off? Maybe a racing heart or a queasy wave you couldn't explain? That's your body hinting it's not happy. Think of someone like Tom, 71. He'd been a coffee-first guy for decades, black and strong, no food till later. But lately he'd been battling stomach aches and a shaky feeling that threw off his mornings. His daughter nudged him to try a little toast or a banana first, and within days that jittery edge smoothed out and his gut thanked him. The solution's easy. Don't ditch the coffee, just tweak the timing. Have a small snack, crackers, a piece of fruit, a handful of nuts, before that first sip. It cushions your stomach, steadies your energy, and keeps the caffeine from hitting you like a freight train. The great writer Victor Hugo once said, "The first thing to do is to take care of yourself." And that starts with how you fuel your mornings. If coffee's your wake-up call, give your body something to work with first. It's a tiny shift that can save you big discomfort down the road. Drop a 3 in the comments if this one's speaking to you, and let's move on to the next mistake. Mistake 4. Brushing off morning stiffness and jumping into action too fast. You know that feeling when you wake up, those creaky knees, that tight back, those shoulders that just don't want to budge? Too many folks over 70 chalk it up to just getting old and push right through it. But ignoring that stiffness is a dangerous misstep that can land you in trouble. Here's the deal. While you sleep, your muscles and joints settle down, circulation slows, and that natural lubricant in your joints, synovial fluid, doesn't flow like it did in your 30s. So when you hop up too quick or twist the wrong way, you're rolling the dice on a pulled muscle, a stumble, or even a nasty fall. There's an old piece of elderly wisdom that says, "A stiff branch snaps, but a supple one bends." And that's spot on. Your body needs a warm-up, not a wake-up sprint. Ever stood up too fast and felt that wobble? Maybe grab the nightstand to steady yourself? That's a warning sign you're moving before your body's ready. Take someone like Clara, 76. She was always proud of her get up and go attitude. She'd wake up stiff, shrug it off, and hustle to the kitchen. Then one morning, her knee locked mid-step, and down she went. Luckily, just a bruise, but it scared her straight. The fix is simple and doesn't take long. Before you even get out of bed, wake your body up slow. Wiggle your fingers and toes, roll your ankles, stretch your arms overhead. Then once you're sitting, do a few gentle shoulder rolls or knee lifts. Nothing fancy, just enough to get the blood moving. Benjamin Franklin put it best. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. Those extra couple minutes can mean the difference between striding into your day or limping through it, or worse, ending up in the ER with a fall you didn't see coming. Be mindful with those first steps too. Hold on to something sturdy if you need to, especially in dim light. If stiffness is your morning gremlin, don't ignore it. Ease into motion instead. Comment 4 below if this one's ringing a bell, and let's keep rolling to the next mistake. Mistake 5. Skipping breakfast or grabbing something loaded with sugar. Now, you've probably heard breakfast is the most important meal of the day, but for folks over 70, skipping it altogether or reaching for a donut or sugary cereal can set you up for a rough ride. After a night of fasting, your body's begging for fuel. Your blood sugar's low, your brain's foggy, and your energy's dragging. If you skip it, you're running on fumes. And if you go for a quick sugar hit, you'll spike and crash faster than you can say coffee refill. There's an old piece of elderly wisdom that says, start the day with strength, not sweets. And it's truer than ever as we age. Without a solid breakfast, you're more likely to feel shaky, tired, or even dizzy by mid-morning, and that's a recipe for trouble, especially if you're on your feet. Ever skipped breakfast and felt that mid-morning slump, maybe a little lightheaded or grumpy? That's your body saying it needs more than a sip of juice. Take someone like Henry, 74. He used to think a pastry was plenty until he started noticing his hands trembling and his focus fading before lunch. His doctor told him to swap it for something balanced, some oatmeal with nuts or a slice of whole grain toast with peanut butter, and suddenly he had steady energy that lasted. The trick here is simple. Don't skip and don't sugar bomb. Aim for a mix of protein, fiber, and healthy fats. Think eggs with veggies, yogurt with fruit, or even leftovers from last night's dinner. The poet Rumi once said, "The body is a guest house, and every morning is a new arrival. So welcome it with something that keeps you strong, not something that leaves you stumbling." If you're in the habit of rushing out the door with nothing or just a sweet treat, rethink it. A good breakfast steadies your sugar, sharpens your mind, and keeps your heart humming. Drop a 5 in the comments if this one's making you rethink your mornings, and let's head to the next mistake. Mistake 6, ignoring your meds or taking them the wrong way. For a lot of folks over 70, morning means popping a few pills, blood pressure, cholesterol, you name it. But here's where it gets dicey. Skipping them because you're in a rush or taking them without paying attention to timing or food can turn a lifesaver into a liability. Your body's more sensitive now, and those meds need consistency to work right. Miss a dose, and your heart or blood sugar could take a hit. Take them wrong, and you might feel woozy or worse. There's an old bit of elderly wisdom that says, "A steady hand keeps the ship on course." And that's exactly what your morning med routine needs: steadiness. Ever forgotten your pills and felt off all day? Maybe a little short of breath or extra tired? That's no coincidence. Take someone like Doris, 77. She'd get busy with her coffee and chores, and half the time, her pills sat untouched on the counter. One day, her blood pressure spiked, and she ended up dizzy on the couch, scared out of her wits. Her nurse set her straight: set a routine, use a pill box, and follow the rules. Some meds need food, some don't, and timing matters. The fix is straightforward but crucial. Keep your meds where you'll see them, like by your water glass, and stick to the same time every day. Check with your doctor if you're unsure about food or water with each one. The great thinker Aristotle said, "We are what we repeatedly do," and that includes how you handle your meds. If you've been hit or miss with your morning doses or gulping them down without a plan, it's time to tighten up. Those little pills can keep you ticking, but only if you give them the respect they deserve. Comment 6 below if this one's hitting close to home, and let's move on to the next mistake. Mistake 7, sitting too long right after waking up. You might think easing into the day with a long sit, maybe scrolling the news or sipping tea in your favorite chair, is harmless, but for folks over 70, staying parked too long first thing can quietly wreak havoc. After hours of lying still in bed, your circulation's already sluggish, your blood's pooling, your joints are stiff, and your muscles are begging to move. If you plop down and stay there, you're slowing everything down even more, raising your risk of clots, stiffness, or even a foggy brain that lingers all day. There's an old piece of elderly wisdom that says, "Motion is the lotion for life, and it's pure gold as we age." Ever sat through your morning routine and felt your legs turn to lead? Or stood up and nearly lost your balance? That's your body pleading for action. Take someone like Frank, 75. He loved his slow mornings, feet up, paper in hand. But he started noticing his knees ached more, and his energy tanked by noon. His physical therapist told him, "Get moving within 30 minutes of waking." Nothing big, just a short walk to the kitchen, a few stretches, or even standing while you coffee brews. The fix is simple but powerful. Don't linger in that chair too long. Start your day with gentle movement. Shuffle around the house, sway side to side, or do a light arm swing. The poet William Blake once said, "He who binds to himself a joy does the wing life destroy, but he who kisses the joy as it flies lives in eternity's sunrise." And moving early keeps that joy flying. If you've been glued to your seat after waking, break the habit. A few minutes of motion can wake up your body, boost your mood, and keep you steady. Comment 7 below if this one's got you rethinking your mornings. And let's roll on to the next mistake. Mistake 8, skipping a quick mental warm-up. You might not think your brain needs a morning stretch, but for folks over 70, diving into the day without giving your mind a little wake-up call can leave you foggy, forgetful, or even frazzled before you've finished your toast. As we age, our brains don't snap to attention like they used to. Sleep clears the slate, but it takes a minute to get those gears turning. If you jump straight into complex stuff, bills, plans, or arguments, without easing in, you're more likely to stumble over details or feel overwhelmed fast. There's an old bit of elderly wisdom that says, "A sharp mind starts with a gentle nudge," and that's truer than ever when the years pile up. Ever woken up, grabbed your phone, and felt your head spin trying to make sense of emails or news? That's your brain saying it's not ready yet. Take someone like Evelyn, 72. She'd start her day stressing over her to-do list right out of bed. Soon she'd forget where she put her glasses or blank on a friend's name, and it rattled her. A friend suggested a simple fix: spend 5 minutes waking her mind gently, count backwards from 20, name 5 things she's grateful for, or hum a tune she loves. It worked wonders. She felt clearer and calmer all day. The solution's easy. Give your brain a soft launch. Try a quick puzzle, a deep breath while thinking of something happy, or even chatting with yourself about the day ahead. The philosopher Socrates said, "The unexamined life is not worth living," and a little morning mindfulness keeps your life sharp and worth savoring. If you've been skipping this step, don't. It's a small trick that keeps your memory humming and your stress low. Drop an 8 in the comments if this one's sparking some ideas, and let's move on to the next mistake. Mistake 9, neglecting your shoes or shuffling around barefoot. It might sound trivial, but for folks over 70, what's on your feet first thing in the morning can make or break your day, literally. After a night of rest, your balance isn't at its peak. Your arches might be stiff, and those hardwood floors or slippery tiles are waiting to trip you up. Going barefoot or sliding around in loose slippers might feel cozy, but it's a sneaky risk. Falls are no joke as we age, and they often start with a wrong step at home. There's an old piece of elderly wisdom that says, a good foundation keeps you standing tall, and that applies to more than just your house. It's about your feet too. Ever shuffled to the bathroom and felt a little unsteady, maybe caught your toe in a rug? That's a close call you don't want to repeat. Take someone like George, 79. He loved padding around barefoot in the mornings until one day he slipped on a wet spot in the kitchen and went down hard. A bruised hip and a big scare later, he switched to sturdy slippers with grip, and he's never looked back. The fix is simple but game-changing. Ditch the bare feet or flimsy flip-flops for something with support and traction. Think slip-ons with a sole or socks with grippy dots. Check your floors too. Keep them dry and clear. The poet John Donne wrote, "No man is an island, and no foot should be left on its own either. Give it the backup it needs." If you've been casual about your morning footwear, rethink it. Those few seconds slipping on the right shoes can keep you upright and out of trouble. Comment 9 below if this one's got you eyeing your slippers, and let's head to the final mistake. Mistake 10, overloading your morning with stress. And here's the one I promised you'd want to stick around for, because it's a silent killer most folks over 70 don't even see coming. You wake up, and before your eyes are fully open, you're worrying about the bills, the grandkids, that doctor's appointment, or what's on the news.